Hi everyone. In this video, I would like to go over week 4 descriptive analysis and methodology assignment for the class. So in this assignment, you will need to perform descriptive analysis or statistics, and you will also need to provide that in the methodology section of the template or the skeleton that I provided to you. So what you have, this is basically what you will need to submit: the instrument, data collection, and participants. So let me just reiterate what we have done so far. So you have already worked on the introduction where you talked about your topic, and I want you to focus on very simple analysis. So maybe two variables. So one of the students in this class looked at how the quality of sleep affects or impacts job performance. So that's a beautiful topic, right? Very simple, to the point, right? So that would be the title of the paper. And then for the introduction, you just motivate that your study why why the quality of sleep is very important, and what other people have said about it, and so on, right? So you write that as an introduction. And if you got stuck with ideas about introduction, I don't mind if you use ChatGPT to get ideas, and I am okay with that. I was explaining, as long as you make sure that the information there that is providing to you is accurate, and provide citations as well. So for example, ChatGPT, and I was explaining this to one of the students. So for example here, sleep quality. You can just say, can you please provide an example or an introduction search paper on the impact sleep quality on job performance in 2 paragraphs, because ChatGPT is very chatty, so it's going to write forever, in 2 paragraphs, along with a formal hypothesis. If not, you can just provide the formal hypothesis yourself. So this is what you will see, but you will definitely need to provide, no, the formal hypothesis didn't get it right. So I'll just remove that formal hypothesis, just use this one as a prompt. So this is what we call it, generative AI prompt engineering. So you need to kind of polish your prompt until you get what you really want out of it. And this is just kind of to get an example, and then this will inspire you kind of to see what areas you need to talk about in your paper if you haven't done it before, right? And then provide citations. So for citations, so for example here, fast-paced competitive work environment, the quest to enhance productivity and efficiency has become paramount concern for both employees, amidst pursuing significant quality emerged as crucial to determine individual performance. Okay, so now let's say that you want to support that document, this sentence for example, with a citation. So what you need to do is to go use Scholar, Google Scholar, and find papers that talk about sleep quality and job performance. So now you will find a couple of papers, and this is just an example, for example, and then how to cite it. This is the APA. You can just copy and paste this one, and your citation has to be alphabetical order in the reference, right? But in the in-text citation has to be, for example, you can say sleep quality quality is important. It's just an example. And then let's say Mokbel, if it was only one author, Mokbel 2024, right? This is kind of, and you can find the APA formatting online, right? And it should be, you should be able to know how to use APA for in-text citations versus for references. So for the references, you can use the Google site, this Google Scholar, right? So that's one thing that I wanted kind of quickly go over, which is, and then the literature review, again, the same. Just for the literature review, for example, you are talking about sleep and job performance. Sleep, you know, maybe one subsection here is about sleep, what is sleep, why it is important, and so on. And also the same thing, you can ask ChatGPT to give you insights, what you need to talk about in a research paper when you are learning or studying sleep. And then job performance, the same thing. You need maybe a subsection with job performance and talk about it. And the more relevant to each other, the sleep to performance, the better, right? And then for the hypothesis development is you need to justify your hypothesis. In this case, sleep quality will positively impact job performance. But before that, you need to justify that. Why do you think, why is it sleep quality will affect job performance, right? There are 3 ways that you can justify that and to put content here to support that. So one is logical reasoning based on what logic. Second is based on theory. That's the strongest one. If there is a theoretical or a theory that helps support that that claim. If not, then past research, right? So you say past research or this author found this and that. So those are the 3 ways how you can support a hypothesis. And also, again, you can see what ChatGPT will give you insights, but as long as you make sure that the information is accurate and you provide accurate citations, right? And then you state your hypothesis. At most, it can be 1. Again, the purpose of this project is not the writing per se, but the writing is very important for the MBA program. So you will need to know how to write in a professional way using citations, references, and so on. At the same time, I want you actually, the most important thing is I want you to go through that life cycle of data analysis. So from the birth of the data through the survey that we collected and you designed and you collected the data from, and then cleaning that data, and then transforming that data to useful information to answer certain business research questions like, does really sleep quality impact job performance? If yes, what are the implications? What should we do as a business? Should we introduce some interventions? Maybe we can promote sleep quality or provide some sleep specialists to help our employees improve their sleep quality, because that will help their performance. So there are so many things that can help the business based on these findings of your research, right? So only one hypothesis, you don't need more. If that's your topic is sleep and sleep quality and performance, you need only one. You don't need to go over, because sometimes when you go too much and include variables that are not included in the survey, you didn't capture those measures there, it's gonna not be good, right? You don't need to include something that we didn't capture. And then for the methodology, which is for this week, this is what you will need to provide the instrument. And I provided you an example here in my here. So for the research methodology, so the instrument, measurement instrument, this is how your section should look like. It doesn't have to be exactly like it or as elaborative as mine, because yours might be only 2 variables. Mine are very complex variables, and I already provided you with the sources for each of the measurement instrument, right? Measurement instrument means where did you get those, means the variables that you use. For example, sleep quality, right? Job performance. Where did you adopt those variables from? And then you can use feel free to use some of the, how I wrote mine, right? Like, because this is how all research papers look like for measurement instrument, right? They adopted from the existing literature. This was adopted from here. This was adopted from there, right? And then talk a little bit about it. It doesn't have to be exhaustive like this or too elaborate. Keep it simple. And then for the appendix, we will go into the appendix. You need to provide an appendix with, for every item, the standard, the maximum, the minimum, the mean, and the standard deviation, I believe. So we'll look at that one, Appendix A. And then you will definitely also need to include the control variables. Which control variables that you included in your survey, and I believe I indicated that in the survey. So such as age, gender, race, employment status, and GPA, and so on, right? And you need to provide those in the appendix, right? That's for the measurement instrument. So that's the measurement instrument. That's how it should look like. So for the data collection, the way I explain that is here. We collected data via the survey, So feel free. It doesn't have to be, it's not black and white. Whatever you feel, you can explain it the way you sent it to your friends. Feel free to use this, something similar to this one, but it has to be, meaningful, right? So that's the data collection section. And then when we talk about the participants, which is basically the respondents, this is the section that I have for it. So from how many did they submit, right? Because a lot of them submitted, but after cleaning, right, cleaning the data, you deleted a lot of rows, a lot of them, how many were there fully completed and accurate, right, that you kept for your analysis. And then you go into the descriptive statistics, which is part of the participants. That's where you describe your participants. What was the age range, right? Similar to this. What was their education? And you provide this information here in writing, in addition to providing it in the appendix. So let's go to the appendix. So for Appendix A is basically your variable. Whatever your variable is, you maximum, minimum, mean, standard deviation, and you state the item, how you measure that item, and what the Likert scale you use for it. Similar exact table. Use the exact table. That will be fine. And the legend. And then the descriptive statistics, this is how it should look like. So if you have a continuous variable like age, you will need to provide and calculate the mean and the standard deviation, and Excel will do that. And I'm gonna record a video how you can do those in another video after this. So for GPA, what is the mean and the standard deviation? If you have a categorical variable like gender, for example, you need to provide the frequency for females and what is that percentage from the overall, from the total, right? And then male and identified, the same thing. Any categorical variable, you will need to provide the frequencies and the percentage, right? So that's for race, for education level, and so on. And you need to provide a table like this. So feel free to, so I will stop here. This is kind of what is the expectation for this week, is to perform descriptive statistics. And I'm going to show you in another video how to do that. And you need to include it in the skeleton. And that should be here in this document. So again, when you submit this one, make sure that you already fix and address the introduction and hypothesis development and clean it, make sure that it is accurate, and then you can do add to it those second ones, and you will see actually your paper is building, and it's like a baby growing, and you will be very proud of your paper when it is completed. And feel free to remove this one and those ones that are not relevant after you are done. So that's basically what I really wanted to cover today, kind of to give you an overview what is expected from you, and I wish you all the best.